The Unwavering Determination, Lessons from Taeler Hammond. Have you ever felt that moment when giving up seemed like the only logical option? When the obstacles were so high, the rejection so numerous, and the path forward so unclear that surrender felt like sweet relief? I have. We all have. But today, I want to share with you the wisdom of someone who refuses to even acknowledge that surrender exists. Someone whose life philosophy has transformed not just her own journey, but offers a blueprint for anyone facing seemingly insurmountable odds. I recently had the privilege of interviewing Taeler Hammond, a visionary entrepreneur who is revolutionizing how Black women approach business and success. Her work has created ripples of transformation across communities, empowering countless women to reimagine what's possible in their own lives. But it wasn't her impressive business acumen that struck me most deeply. It was her mantra that stopped me in my tracks. Either I'm going to make it or I'm going to make it. There are no other options. Let that sink in for a moment. Not, I might make it, not, I hope to make it, but a declaration so definitive that failure isn't even in the vocabulary. Taylor Hammond isn't just building a business, she's redefining what determination looks like for Black women entrepreneurs. Her approach isn't about toxic positivity or denying reality. It's about something far more revolutionary: the absolute refusal to be defined by limitations imposed by others or even ourselves. This mindset isn't just inspiring, it's transformative. And today, I want to unpack what we can all learn from this approach to life and business. The journey of Black women entrepreneurs is often marked by unique challenges. The statistics tell a sobering story. Black women are the fastest growing demographic of entrepreneurs, yet receive less than 1% of venture capital funding. They face higher barriers to entry, greater scrutiny, and often navigate systems that weren't designed with them in mind. But what if these very challenges could become catalysts for a different kind of success story? Through my conversation with Taylor and the insights gathered from dozens of trailblazing Black women featured on the Pink Parachute Diaries, I've identified three pillars of entrepreneurial resilience that can transform how we approach our greatest challenges. The first pillar might surprise you: embrace the revolutionary act of dropping the ball. This concept comes from Tiffany Dufu, the visionary president of the Tory Burch Foundation and founder of The Crew. Her drop the ball philosophy has revolutionized how many Black women entrepreneurs approach success. For generations, Black women have been conditioned to believe that perfectionism is our shield against discrimination, that exhaustion is the price of achievement, and that asking for help signals weakness. We've internalized the message that we must work twice as hard to get half as far. But what if this very mindset is holding us back? Dufu advocates for intentionally dropping the ball, strategically letting go of perfectionism and the suffocating pressure to do everything ourselves. This approach creates space for what truly matters in business and life. I remember speaking with a brilliant entrepreneur who built a six-figure business while working herself to the bone. She was doing everything: the marketing, the bookkeeping, the client work, the administrative tasks, everything. When I asked her why she hadn't hired help, she looked at me with exhausted eyes and said, "Because no one will do it as well as I can." Sound familiar? I thought so. But here's what happened when she finally hired an assistant and a bookkeeper. Her business tripled in 6 months. Why? Because she could finally focus on her zone of genius instead of drowning in tasks that drained her energy and creativity. As Taylor Hammond shared in our interview, the moment I stopped trying to be everything to everyone in my business was the moment my business actually started to grow. I had to learn that delegation isn't failure, it's strategy. This revolutionary mindset shift has empowered countless Black women entrepreneurs to thrive without sacrificing well being, building sustainable businesses while maintaining fulfilling lives. The second pillar is equally powerful: redefine success on your own terms. Success doesn't have to look like burnout or sacrifice. It can mean building a sustainable business that honors your well being and priorities. This redefinition is particularly powerful for Black women entrepreneurs who are often navigating systems not designed with us in mind. I've witnessed a remarkable transformation in how Black women entrepreneurs are approaching value and pricing. Many struggle with underpricing their services, facing both internal barriers like imposter syndrome and external barriers like market biases. One entrepreneur I interviewed had been charging $500 for services that her white male counterparts were charging $5,000 for, with less experience and fewer qualifications. When she finally raised her rates to reflect her true value, something fascinating happened. Not only did clients continue to hire her, but they respected her more. They showed up more prepared. They implemented her advice more thoroughly. By shifting to value based pricing models, these entrepreneurs are reclaiming their worth and transforming their business models. This pricing revolution has allowed many to build more sustainable businesses while honoring their expertise and unique contributions. When Taylor Hammond says, either I'm going to make it or I'm going to make it, she's not just talking about financial success or recognition. She's talking about creating a life and business that aligns with her deepest values and honors her whole self. As Maya Angelou wisely noted, success is liking yourself, liking what you do, and liking how you do it. This definition liberates us from external metrics that may never have been designed for our success in the first place. The third pillar completes the foundation: harness the power of community and collective support. The journey doesn't have to be solitary. Intentional delegation and community support aren't signs of weakness, but strategic moves toward sustainable growth and impact. I've seen Black entrepreneurs create revolutionary business models that bypass traditional gatekeepers entirely. Despite systemic obstacles, limited access to capital, and entrenched biases, these entrepreneurs have developed approaches that don't just survive, but thrive, creating new pathways for success that didn't previously exist. One entrepreneur couldn't get a bank loan to start her business, so she created a membership model where her community essentially funded her startup costs through advanced purchases. Another couldn't break into an industry dominated by established players, so she created an entirely new category where she could set the rules. In the words of Shirley Chisholm, if they don't give you a seat at the table, bring a folding chair. Today's Black women entrepreneurs are taking this a step further. They are building entirely new tables and inviting others to join them. Taylor Hammond exemplifies this approach. She's created networks of support that allow her to focus on her zone of genius while collaborating with others who complement her strengths. This isn't just smart business. It's revolutionary in a culture that often glorifies the lone wolf entrepreneur. As Taylor shared, I didn't wait for permission to succeed. I didn't wait for the perfect conditions. I created my own conditions for success. This is the essence of the unwavering determination that defines her journey. It's not about denying reality or pretending challenges don't exist. It is about refusing to let those challenges have the final word. There's a scripture that resonates deeply with this approach. We are hard pressed on every side, but not crushed, perplexed, but not in despair, persecuted, but not abandoned, struck down, but not destroyed. This captures the resilience I've witnessed in Taylor Hammond and so many Black women entrepreneurs. They acknowledge the pressure, the confusion, even the persecution, but they refuse to be defined by it. When I asked Taylor about the moment, she realized that making it wasn't just a hope, but an absolute certainty. She shared a story that brought tears to my eyes. It wasn't a moment of triumph or recognition, it was actually a moment of profound challenge. She had just faced a major setback in her business. A partnership had fallen through. Funding she had counted on didn't materialize, and she found herself at what many would consider a breaking point. But in that moment, something shifted. She realized that her determination wasn't dependent on external circumstances. It wasn't contingent on things going according to plan. Her commitment to success was unconditional. I realized that my success wasn't a question of if, but how, she told me. And once I understood that, everything changed. The obstacles were still there, but they became challenges to navigate rather than barriers that could stop me. So, what does this mean for you? I challenge you today to adopt this mindset of unwavering determination, not as the form of toxic positivity that denies real challenges, but as a revolutionary stance that refuses to give those challenges the power to define your story. Identify one ball you can intentionally drop this week, one perfectionist standard, one unrealistic expectation, one task that could be delegated. Sometimes making space is the most powerful way to move forward. Re examine how you define success. Is your definition truly yours, or have you inherited it from a system that may never have been designed with your flourishing in mind? And finally, where might you need to strengthen your community of support? No one succeeds alone, and vulnerability in asking for help can become your greatest strength. When Taylor was asked what she would say to someone paralyzed by fear of the unknown, her answer was profound. Tell them that fear and faith often feel the same in your body. The difference is where you direct that energy in a world that constantly tells us what we cannot do. Embracing the mindset that either I'm going to make it or I'm going to make it isn't just inspiring, it's an act of rebellion. It's a declaration that your dreams are non negotiable, that your determination is unconditional. So I leave you with this. What would change in your life if you embrace this mindset? What dreams would you pursue? What risks would you take? What boundaries would you set? What help would you ask for? The answers to these questions might just change everything, because unwavering determination isn't just about refusing to give up, it's about refusing to even consider giving up as an option. And in that refusal lies a power that can transform not just our individual journeys, but our communities, our industries, and our world. Either we're going to make it or we're going to make it. There are no other options. Thank you.